again. Welcome back. Welcome to your new class, class number 630. We have a tendency to progress. We never stop progressing. Marta and me together since class number 1. Do you remember class number 1? You don't remember. Well, if you go to R2E a la carta, y pones Vaughan, boom, you have access to 629 programs because this program isn't over yet. I have just started, but I haven't finished yet. And so you go back to class number 1. Is this a book? Yes, it is. Is this a table? Yes, it is, for the very basic elements. And remember always that the basic elements are really the only essential elements for effective communication. If you want to be an effective communicator in English, first, you need to be an effective communicator in Spanish. It's a skill. It's a skill. La comunicación es una habilidad. It's a skill. It's not a linguistic question. It's not a language question. It's a skill. It's a communication skill. If you want to be a good communicator in English, then the first prerequisite is to be an effective communicator in Spanish. And then you're in a position to transfer your skill of good communication to English. Many people come to me, well, over the past 48 years, long time, many people have come to me asking for a special course in public speaking or presentation skills, oratoria, or similar. And sometimes I said yes, and I helped them, but the problem was, for English, but the problem was they were not good communicators in Spanish. They didn't have presentation skills in Spanish. And if you want to be a good presenter, if you want to be a good speaker in public or face-to-face or in meetings, you need to be a good communicator, first in your own language. Then you can migrate to English, French, German, or whatever, etc. But remember this. So, if you need to be a good communicator, first in Spanish. Take courses in presentation skills in Spanish, or if necessary, go to a speech therapist. A speech therapist. In English, we say terapeuta del habla. You say in Spanish, logopeda. First, go to a speech therapist. Some people, not many, some of my Spanish students over the years es con el paso de los años, over the years, some of my students have had very defective pronunciation. This is very important, and very defective pronunciation. Sometimes so defective that it was an impediment for learning English. Normally that's not the case. Pronunciation is not a priority for you, or for Marta, or for me. Pronunciation is not a priority. But in a few cases, 1% perhaps, the pronunciation is so dense or so thick, se dice espesa, that it's a problem. But in these cases, in 100% of the cases, the person's Spanish also has poor diction, poor resolution. And so I tell these people, listen, go to a speech therapist for Spanish to improve your diction, to improve the resolution of your speech, to improve the articulation, and to improve the delivery. Delivery is, in English, means la entrega, una entrega, delivery, de livrer in French. It's the same origin, to deliver. And your delivery is la exposición verbal, oral. That's your delivery. And to improve your delivery in Spanish, then when you improve your resolution, articulation, and delivery in Spanish, then you're in a much better position to learn English well. Because many of the questions are mechanical and physiological, some of them. So remember that. Okay, translation booklet, all right. Page 248, list number 26. We're going to start where we left off yesterday. You know, Marta, I say that in every class. You know, it's interesting. En todas las clases, yo digo, vamos a empezar donde lo dejamos ayer. We're going to start, or I'm going to continue where we left off yesterday. And I'm sure that my students will not remember that, you know? You know, it's interesting, on my radio program, I do 2 hours. And after the first half hour, second and third half hour, I say, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Enseguida vuelvo. I'll be right back. And many of my students in my radio show have heard me say that 550 times or 5,050 times. And one day, about 7 months ago, I asked the students, how do you say in English, enseguida vuelvo? They didn't know. It goes in one ear and out the other. They don't pay attention. They don't register what I'm teaching. Or they don't register what I'm saying continuously. I'm sure that for those 3 people who were with me in the radio, they heard, I'll be right back, probably 500 times. 500 times. And it didn't register. So, I'm retiring now. I am throwing in the towel. Estoy tirando la toalla ya. En inglés dice tirar dentro, to throw in the towel. Because the origin of the expression, tirar la toalla, or to throw in the towel, the origin of the expression is in boxing. Because in boxing, if you're the manager of a boxer, and your boxer's in big trouble, having problems, and could be injured, you take the towel and throw it into the ring, which is a signal to the referee to stop the fight. And so we throw into the ring, el cuadrilátero, no me sale, into the ring. We say ring, como anilla. We also say bull ring, para la plaza de toros. We say la anilla de toros, the bull ring, and the boxing ring. However, the boxing ring is square. It's not a ring. But in any case, we say the boxing ring. In Spanish, you say el cuadrilátero. In Spanish, it's more logical. In this case, usually English is more logical, but in this case, Spanish is more logical. Okay, we're going to continue, my friends, where we left off in yesterday's class, which was, I repeat, page 248 on the translation booklet, number 13. We're going to start on a bad luck number, Marta, número 13. All right, but in any case, a mí me gusta el calor. I like the heat. It's true, I like the heat. People complain about the heat. Ay, qué calor, no hay que lo aguante. He said, okay, yeah, it's hot, but I prefer the heat to the cold. And every year in the world, more people die because of cold weather conditions than because of hot weather conditions. All right. But people complain about the heat, especially Marta in Sevilla. When she's in Seville, she complains about the heat. Now, I lived in Texas and in Oklahoma for 21 years of my life. Now, Texas is south of Oklahoma. Oklahoma is north. However, it's hotter in Oklahoma usually than in Texas. The climatic conditions. Texas is on the Gulf of Mexico. Texas has about 700 kilometers of coast on the Gulf of Mexico. And the Gulf of Mexico, there's a breeze. It moderates the climate a little bit in important parts of Texas. In the east of Texas, East Texas and Central Texas. West Texas, no. West Texas is practically a desert. The Texas people remember from the movies is West Texas. And there's a lot of oil underground. But in any case, in Oklahoma, it's hotter. And it's usually hotter than here in Madrid. People in Madrid complain. Oof. As I think I said yesterday, Marta, I tried to fry an egg on the pavement. Yes, freí un huevo en el asfalto de la calle. And it doesn't work. Yeah, it's a myth. It's a mito. It's not true. My friend and I, we tried. It was so hot that we opened the refrigerator, took out an egg, went outside to the street, cracked the egg, and opened it onto the asphalt of the street. And we waited for 2 minutes and it didn't fry. So forget it. We went inside. 45 minutes later, we remembered, the egg. We went back outside. We went back outside to the street, and it still hadn't fried. after 45 minutes. So it's not true. It's not true. However, there's a fellow in this company by the name of Rob, and he's bald. Yeah. And when he gets angry, it gets so hot that you can probably fry an egg on his head. All right? We haven't tried it. We should try it, Marta. We should try it. Okay. A mí me gusta el calor. I like the heat. I like the heat. When it's hot, it's hot. When it's not, it's not. Es un rima, es un poema para ti, Marta. It's easy to remember. When it's hot, it's hot. When it's not, it's not. Me gusta el calor. I like the heat. ¿Quieres decir que te gusta este tiempo? Do you mean? ¿Quieres decir que te gusta este tiempo? Do you mean you like this weather? Do you mean? El do you mean? Do you mean is ¿quieres decir? ¿Qué quieres decir? What do you mean? All right. But also when you say, ¿cómo que estás enfadado? No tienes motivo de estar. What do you mean? Con esa entonación. ¿Cómo que estás enfadado? No tienes motivo de estar enfadado, ¿eh? Yo sí. ¿Cómo que estás enfadado? What do you mean you're angry? What do you mean you're angry? I'm the one who should be angry. Yeah, because you're not learning fast enough. I come here every day to teach you. I get up very early, 7:30 in the morning to teach you, and your attendance is erratic. ¿Se dice en español errático, no? Yeah, your attendance is erratic. And you're angry with me? What do you mean? What do you mean you're angry? What do you mean? All right, what do you mean? Y luego mean como sin querer, perdona. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. ¿Te he herido los sentimientos? Did I hurt your feelings? Or have I hurt your feelings? Ambos nos valen, pero si vamos, en inglés vamos más al pasado simple. Te he herido los sentimientos. Te herí los sentimientos. Did I hurt your feelings? I'm really sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to. Se corta con el to. Podría, la frase entera, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I didn't mean to. Lo hice sin querer. No quise herir tus sentimientos. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I'm really sorry. I apologize. Do you accept my apology? Okay, good. All right, well then let's continue. ¿Quieres decir que te gusta este tiempo? Do you mean you like this weather? Me hace sentir fuerte. It makes me feel. Fíjate que no sé si it makes me to feel. Ojo. It makes me feel strong. It's 41 degrees outside. Oh, that's the way I like it. Es así como me gusta. That's the way I like it. That's the way I do it. Es así como lo hago yo. That's the way. Con la palabra the way. Esa es la manera en que yo lo hago. Me hace sentir fuerte. It makes me feel strong. It makes me feel strong. Debes de estar loco. Debes de estar loco, hombre. You must be crazy. Must como conclusión lógica. I mean, if you say you like this weather and it makes you strong, the only conclusion is that you're nuts. You're crazy. You've lost your marbles. Has perdido tus canicas. Es una forma en inglés. Gaga. You're crazy. You must be crazy. You must be. Cuando sacas una conclusión lógica, dices must. You must be crazy. You must be crazy. Tuve que estar de pie en el autobús. I had to stand in the bus today as well. Well, listen, it was interesting. I came here by bus this morning, bus number 27. All right. And I had to stand on the bus at the beginning. And for the first 3 stops. And then I saw that the back row was empty. So I went to the back row. And I sat on the back row looking forward. And there was a person over there sitting opposite, looking in my direction, 2 rows ahead. And he had a cell phone. I was wearing a mask. But I think he recognized me. Because inadvertently, without looking, he took a picture. And I didn't look at it. I realized, I'm sure he took a picture of me. But I didn't say anything because he looked a little bit strange, okay? I said, I'm not going to say anything to this guy. But I think he took a picture of me. So, and it was funny. About 3 months ago, I was on the same bus number 27. And a young man, a kid, maybe 20 years old, un poco pasota, as you say, a little bit, yeah. He looked at us, he said, "Usted es el vagon ese, no?" I said, "Yes." And he said, "¿Qué haces tú en el autobús? What are you doing on the bus?" And I said, "I have the same right as you. I have the same right as you to be on the bus." He said, "Yeah, but you're vagon here. You don't go on the buses." You know, he thought it was a Maserati or a Ferrari or something. I said, "No, I use public transport every day. And you too, Marta, you use public transport every day." Yes. All right. Tuve que estar de pie en el autobús. I had to stand. Claro, to stand es un verbo. In English, in Spanish, you estar de pie. Okay, we say to stand, estar sentado is to sit. Now, in Spanish, sentarse is to sit down. Siéntese, por favor. Sit down, please. Or have a seat. Tome asiento. Have a seat. Seat como asiento. Sit down or have a seat. But we use sit and stand a lot in English. Really, we use it a lot. In fact, to sit and to stand, each verb has two meanings. Well, to stand has more. To stand, for example, in Great Britain, to stand for election is presentarse para las elecciones, para un cargo electoral. To stand for elections. In the United States, we say to run. Corremos para que nos voten. Ahí solo se ponen de pie. To run for election, to stand for election. But to stand also means, to stand for is simbolizar o significar. ¿Qué significa ONU? What does it stands for? Organization of the United Nations. What does NATO stand for? ¿Qué significa la OTAN? Como las siglas. What, the initials, NATO. NATO stands for North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Okay, that's a stand. But to stand and to sit also mean to be. Estar. No ser. Estar. Okay. ¿Por qué estás ahí mirándome así? ¿Por qué estás ahí mirándome tan raro, Marta? Why are you sitting there looking at me? Sitting. Porque estás sentada. Si estuviera de pie, why are you standing there looking at me? Yeah, ahí estaba. Ahí estaba mirando al público sin decir nada. There he was standing. And so we use standing and sitting a lot in the sense of simply estar. All right, to estar. Yes, I'm sitting here looking at you. Aquí estoy mirándoos a todos. Yeah. I am here. Casi, yo no diría I am here. In Spanish, I would say, pues aquí estoy. Otra clase. Aquí estoy mirándote a ti. In English, probably I would say, here I am, sitting, looking at you. I'm sitting here, looking at you. Literalmente estoy sentado aquí, mirándote. All right, let's go on. No te ofreció nadie en el autobús. Tuve que estar de pie en el autobús. Supongamos que soy una mujer embarazada ahora. I had to stand on the bus. All right? No te ofreció nadie un asiento? Didn't anybody offer you a seat? Didn't anyone offer you a seat? Yes. ¿No se dieron cuenta de que estabas embarazada? Didn't they realize, the people, didn't they realize that you were pregnant? Didn't they realize that you were pregnant? Al parecer, no. Por lo visto, no. Apparently not. Apparently not. Fue un acontecimiento muy importante. It was a very important event. Event. Event has three meanings. Event has one meaning, acontecimiento. Fue un gran acontecimiento. It was a very important event. También un evento. Hay un evento preparado para mañana para el día especial. We have an important event tomorrow. And finally, Very interestingly, pruebas deportivas, the 100 metros lisos, the 100-meter dash is an Olympic event. The 400 metros mariposa is a swimming event. The 400-meter butterfly is a swimming event. So in swimming and in track and field or athletics, and also I think in gymnastics, the different events. All right, so event. Okay, fue un acontecimiento muy importante. It was a very important event. Yo no quería perdérmelo. I didn't want to miss it. And I went. I was there. I didn't want to miss it. No me dejarán verlo. They won't let me see it. Why not? Because you're not a member of the club. Yeah, but I want to see the event. I'm sorry, but you can't. Why not? I told you, because you're not a member of the club. If you join the club, no problem, but you have to join the club. But what are the conditions for joining the club? You have to speak English perfectly. Oh, I don't speak English perfectly. You're Richard Vaughan. Of course you speak English perfectly. Do I speak English perfectly, Marta? Yeah? Marta dice que sí. Marta says, right now she's nodding her head, so she's saying I speak English perfectly. It's not true. I don't speak English perfectly. And you don't speak Spanish perfectly either. I have my good days or good moments, eloquent moments. And I have my less eloquent moments when I express myself. And I say, I could, yesterday in that meeting, en la reunión de ayer, podría haberme expresado mucho mejor y no lo hice. I didn't express myself well in the meeting yesterday. I wish I had a second chance. And so you and I, we never have complete command of any language, not even our mother tongue, our native language. So I don't speak English perfectly. And this club is only for people who speak English perfectly. So I'm not a member. I can't join the club. Ingresar como socios to join the club, to join the team. If you can't beat them, join them. Esta expresión súper corriente en inglés. If you can't beat them, join them. Escucha, lo voy a decir despacio, pero coloquialmente. If you can't beat them, join them. Ahora, if you cannot beat them, join them. Si no puedes derrotarles, únete a ellos. Si no les puedes ganar, únete a ellos. It's a very common expression in English. In Spanish, there's nothing similar, as far as I know. But it's so common that we say, if you can't beat them, casi apóstrofe em. If you can't beat them, join them. Si no puedes, ingresa con ellos o únete a ellos. If you can't beat them, join them. All right. No me dejarán verlo. They won't. Contraction of will not. They won't let me see it. Los árboles no te dejan ver el bosque. That's a good expression. In English, we say it the other direction. You can't see the forest for the trees. No puedes ver el bosque por culpa de los árboles. You know, that's it. I like both. Both expressions are equally good. You can't see the forest for the trees. For, en este caso, es por culpa de. Por los árboles. For. You can't see the forest for the trees. And that's true, by the way. That's true. And usually, in life, when young people are 25, 30, 35, working, they are not in a position psychologically yet to see the forest. They work in the trees. As you get older, 45, 50, 55, 60, then you have a bit more wisdom, more experience, and you have the ability to see the forest. In this company, I mean, when I was 30 years old, I was in the middle of the forest with a hammer, martillo, chapas y clavos, and I was numbering every tree. Numerando cada árbol. One árbol, another. Of course, I couldn't see the forest. Now, at my age, and with my experience, I'm sitting on the side of the hill, looking at the forest and making decisions on which way to grow the forest. This way. Strategic, not tactical. Numbering it, but both are necessary. I need people in the forest numbering every tree, and I will make decisions on the direction in which the forest should grow and things like that. So you can't see the forest for the trees. You can't see the forest for the trees. Llegaremos al fondo de este asunto. We'll get to the bottom. También el sentido del fondo de algo. Bottom. We'll get to the bottom of this matter. We'll get to the bottom of this matter. Your English isn't perfect. We need to get to the bottom of this matter. Llegar al fondo, to get to the bottom. See you tomorrow.